and what I am asking the United States government for. I am asking for a Black American sovereign, independent sanctuary city in the United States. It can be labeled as a reservation, a micronation, but it is a sovereign, independent, Black American sanctuary city petition that I have started, and I am hoping to earn your support. I am asking for federal land and the money to build this Black American independent sovereign sanctuary city in the state of Nevada. The government currently owns about 81% of the land in Nevada, which is just sitting there not doing anything for the most part. As we all can look at this collage of those who have died by police brutality, we add faces regularly to this list. And of those who don't die, that's just gobbled up by the criminal justice system for crimes they didn't commit or crimes they did commit, but they are not giving a speedy, fair trial, or they are railroaded into plea deals that cost them years or decades of their lives. I'm going to get into exactly what my petition says, but I want you to contact me at unitedblackcaucus@gmail.com directly to speak to me and to get more information about this movement and to lend your support. I think it's important for people to understand that I am not a segregationist. It is my humble wish that we all could live in peace and harmony, irregardless to the color of our skin, the texture of our hair. But unfortunately, the United States government, because it allowed slavery, segregation, and the early white settlers to believe that their wealth comes from oppressing Black people, we have been stigmatized ever since. And that is why I feel that a Black sanctuary city is needed, because we need to be able to have a place on this soil that our ancestors suffered so much, and we continue to this very day. We need to have a place where we are free, where we govern ourselves, where we are able to live in peace and not be judged by the color of our skin and our hair texture. The natural features that God made us to have. I want to get into an article that's on CNN Health. This article is dated August 20th of 2020, but there are subsequent articles that I will get into that's more recent, but the story is the same. Black newborns more likely to die when looked after by white doctors. I want you to sort of, and in a series of videos, I will have you understand why I think a Black sovereign nation is needed, or a Black sovereign city is needed, where we can govern ourselves on this particular land and take care of ourselves. This article here, Black Newborns More Likely to Die When Looked After by White Doctors, by Rob Pichetta. In the United States, racial disparities in human health can impact even the first hours of a person's life, according to new research. And of course, in the Black sovereign independent city, we will have hospitals and healthcare facilities. Some Black mothers may choose to come to the city to give birth to their children and be cared for by Black healthcare professionals. As I will get into this article, Black newborn babies in the United States are more likely to survive childbirth if they are cared for by Black doctors, but 3 times more likely than whites to die when looked after by white doctors, a study found. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that the Black mortality rate of babies being cared for by white doctors is 3 times more likely that they will die? Racism has permeated this society, and the United States government and those in elected office have a responsibility to do something about it. We have been fighting this fight for hundreds of years. The lawmakers and when this country was founded allowed Black people to be dehumanized, enslaved, degraded, humiliated, and the lawmakers of today needs to make it right. And that is why I'm petitioning for our own independent, sovereign sanctuary land within the state of Nevada. The mortality rate of Black newborns in hospitals shrunk by between 39% and 58% when Black physicians took charge of the birth, according to the research, which laid bare how shocking racial disparities in human health care can affect even the first hours of a person's life. We're talking about an innocent little baby that hasn't done absolutely anything to anyone. Okay? So you never ever underestimate a white supremacist or a racist. Yes, they will attack the baby in the womb. They will attack the baby when it's just a few minutes old. By contrast, the mortality rate for white babies was largely unaffected by the doctor's race. The findings support previous research, which has shown that white infant mortality rates have fallen in recent decades. Black children remain significantly more likely to die early than their white counterparts. Researchers from George Mason University analyzed data capturing 1.8 million hospital births in Florida between 1992 and 2015 for the new study, which was published Monday in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences of the United States of America, known as PNAS. When cared for by white physicians, Black newborns were 3 times more likely to die in the hospital than white newborns, the researchers found. That disparity dropped significantly when the doctor was Black. Although Black newborns nonetheless remain more likely than white newborns to die. Okay? Die. I want to thank all of you that have already signed the petition, and I want to thank all of you who have contacted me directly at unitedblackcaucus@gmail.com that want to get involved with this movement, and I will definitely get back to your email. Keep spreading this petition, keep spreading the email, and we will make this happen. So let's get into what the petition says. When is enough really enough? The unfortunate reality is that Black Americans have been victims of racial injustice and inequality for far too long on American soil. The very soil that is richly soaked with the sweat of our labor, the blood of those killed, and the tears from our agony, pain, and hope for a better day. We have been abused, misused, discriminated against, disrespected, and betrayed by the very nation that our stolen and enslaved ancestors built and the nation that we continue to build long after slavery. In today's society, a white police officer can kneel on a non-resistant black man's neck, cutting his air supply until that black man is dead and the victim becomes villain. The idea that blacks are subhuman still imprisons the minds of many whites in this nation and reflects in the systemic racism that is woven in the fabric of our society, as I've said, even in the healthcare industry. You see how the black babies are 3 times more likely to die being cared for by a white doctor. It isn't the color of the doctor's skin that made the baby die. It's what's inside that person's mind. It's what's in that person's heart. It's not just a strange coincidence. It's a little strange baby fruit coincidence that these babies are dying like that. And black mothers are dying in childbirth as well. And we will get into that. Back to the petition. On behalf of the Black American people, I am requesting that the President of the United States and the United States Congress grant development funding and at least 22.5 thousand acres of federal land in the state of Nevada to be developed into a Black American sanctuary city. I want a sovereign, independent Black American sanctuary in this country. We'll run it ourselves, our own governing system, independent of the United States of America. There are other nations within this nations. There are reservations who are sovereign. There's micronation that's sovereign. There's a micronation that is actually in the state of Nevada as we speak. It's been here since, I believe, 1977. So it's not like it can't be done. The Black American Sanctuary City will have housing, farming areas, schools, medical facilities, shopping areas, parks, recreation, and much more. Please support this effort. Share this petition with family and friends. We all deserve to have a place of peace, sanctuary, and asylum. I mean, at some point, enough is just enough. Enough is enough. I want you people out here to think about the fact that an innocent little baby being cared for by a white doctor is 3 times more likely to die. Please sign this petition, share this petition, talk to your local congresspeople about this effort, get in contact with me. We need to make this happen. I've already talked to my local Congresswoman, Representative Dina Titus's office. I spoke to 2 of her assistants. Nonetheless, the conversation has grown cold and silent. Only a member of Congress can introduce this bill in the Congress. And I reached out to my Congresswoman. If necessary, I will run for Congress myself, because I am very adamant that we have a sovereign, independent sanctuary nation within this country. We deserve that. The cops have been infiltrated, which there are many articles and FBI reports about that. The cops and law enforcement, from judges to the cops on the street, have been infiltrated by radicalized white supremacists and nationalists. The healthcare industry, the school system. We need to continue to fight from coast to coast to make sure that we are not continuing to be victims of white supremacy, but we also need an independent, sovereign sanctuary within this country. The United States never never gave us reparations, never gave us any land. At the same time, they were giving away millions and millions of acres of land to white settlers, giving them millions upon billions of dollars to cultivate land and grants and subsidies. Black people have never gotten anything from the United States government. The people that were in charge of making the laws and creating the laws, unfortunately, were lunatics and racists. You still have some of them in office today. But I am counting on and I've got to believe that most people in elected office is not that way. And if you're not that way, you need to support my effort to create a Black sovereign independent sanctuary for Black people in this country. You need to do everything you can. I can't stop a white person from hating Black people, from hating Jews, from hating Asians, from hating gays. I can't stop that. But what we can do as a people is make sure when you act upon that hate, you are held accountable to the fullest extent of criminal and civil law. This is Shannon. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please support my effort for a Black, sovereign, independent sanctuary in the United States of America.
Arsenio Beats. Arsenio Beats.